And this is my York furnace. We're going to try and troubleshoot this, see if we can follow the sequence of operation and determine what component is faulty here so I can try and fix it myself. It's usually pretty easy if you just follow, if you know the sequence and you follow it out, you can generally determine the faulty part on these things and fix it yourself without having a pretty large bill from the repairman. Over here on the left is an outlet, and my furnace is actually plugged into that outlet. Sometimes I'll have a switch. So I'm going to make sure I unplug my unit when I'm working inside of here so I don't get electrocuted. This is the control panel inside. Over here we have the induced draft fan. I believe this is the faulty component. These are the burners over here. 1, 2, 3 burners. Just to the side of the burners is the igniter. This is a continuous glow type igniter. This is the induced draft fan. This has to come on in order to pull out the exhaust gases from inside the firebox, and it vents those gases up through the stack and out the roof. And this creates a negative vacuum inside the firebox so that hazardous gases cannot escape. And on the top of the induced draft fan, there's a tubing coming off, and that senses the negative pressure inside of the firebox. That goes down here to this pressure switch, and the pressure switch will prevent the gas valve from opening up in the event that there's not a negative vacuum in there. 2 more limit switches are just to the left of the burners over here on this panel. There's one right there, and there's one right there, and they have little resets right between the 2 contact terminals right there. The resets are between the terminals. And then directly above is a little sensor right there, and that is the flame sensor. If that detects that the flame has been lost at any time, it'll shut the unit down, shut the gas valve off. Just to the left of the inducer draft fan is the high temperature limit switch, and that will shut down the furnace in the event that it gets too hot inside of the firebox. This is normally the sequence that you want to be looking for when you're troubleshooting this particular York furnace. Okay, the induced draft fan did not come on, and the unit eventually timed out and went into an alarm state. We have a flashing red light down here. It's flashing 3 times continuously. 1, 2, 3. Then it stops. 1, 2, 3. I can look that code up, and it will tell me that that's a condition for a failed inducer. This is my furnace diagnostics, and it tells what the codes mean, the flashing lights. So I have 3 red flashes here. Indicates a normally open pressure switch. Contact did not close after the inducer was energized, so therein lies the problem. It's probably, in this case, it's the inducer since it's not running at all. Here's the additional diagnostics to tell you what more flashes mean. Okay, there's also a button right down the very bottom part of the unit, and it says last error. If you push that button, it will allow you to see what the last 5 error codes were, and that can be used by somebody trying to troubleshoot the unit. Got the lead disconnected for the induced draft fan, and I just checked the voltage when the unit was calling for the fan to be running, and I had 123 volts, so clearly the induced draft fan is not running when it should, so I can confidently go ahead and replace that. And okay, I went ahead and replaced the inducer draft fan. Really easy job. There's a total of about 4 screws holding it on, and another one on the exit going out the stack there. Just replace the pull off the hose and connect it back up afterward. And that was about it. It was 160 bucks shipped, and not too bad. About a third of the price of having someone else come out and do it for me. Okay, I've got the thermostat downstairs, the controller on, and when I plug it in, the unit should come on, and we'll see if it works. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, and we'll see if the fan works. can hear the inside fan coming on to blow air into the house. That's the first step. It'll be about 3 minutes before the inducer comes on, so we'll check it out. There goes the inducer fan. You can hear it kicking on. That's a good sign. Now the vacuum is being picked up by the pressure switch down here, and that should allow the gas valve to come on. You can see the igniter blowing right there, and now the burners came on. That's a real good sign. And now, as long as the flame sensor gets hot enough to continuously detect that fire inside of the firebox, the unit should work just fine. And great. All done.